Chuck Rhodes still got it. Welcome back to Structure. I'm H. This is E, and this is our review of episode 2 of season 6 of Billions.
Yes, in episode 2, we see Mike Prince try to do his thing. Doesn't match. It doesn't match the same energy as Axelrod. I don't know. Let's get unstructured.
Let's go. So previously on the last episode,
Yes.
we talked about how we did not like where the show's going. It
Yeah.
feels like it felt like a different show. Everything it was just not the same magic, the same energy, the same flow that we are accustomed to with Billions.
Not at all. Not at all. It's like a new series that is a spinoff from Billions. That's the way it's starting to feel like to me.
Yeah, it in a way it's a spin-off. It's a lot of stuff doesn't it's not congruent to the show. We have a Wax that stays with Mike Prince, and Wax and Axe are really good friends. They're really close. At the very least, if Wax just take his money, his ball, and go meet with Axe, whatever Axe is, or
Yeah.
just go on his own.
Or
have his own
he would
company.
go on his own. That's what he would do. I mean, he has all these connections, and he knows the business. So why wouldn't he either one take the money and just retire, or two take the money and do what he's done so well for all these years? Why wouldn't he want to be Axelrod himself?
Correct. And then we have Wendy. Wendy, towards the end of the last season, she was in love with Axe. They've been teasing that love connection from the beginning of the show through her marriage with Chuck and everything. And at the end of it all, Axe just takes his ball and go, leaves and leaves
And
her
she's-
behind.
Yeah.
I would think he would have found a way to get her to come with him. Let's face it. It's not congruent.
Yeah, he did offer for her to stay, but she decided not to. For her to go, but she decided to stay.
She would have
rather.
gone with him.
But yeah, she. I mean, it's just there's a few things, and we mentioned this in the conversation. Dollar Bill started his own firm.
Yeah,
right?
so in the previews of the show, of this season, we see the Dollar Bill has a new firm with some of the other members of the show. Maybe we see something planned out later on with Wax in the future. So now that we get all the negative out of the way, let's talk
Yeah.
about some of the positives. I'm gonna say Chuck Rhodes still got it.
Yes, doing his
Chuck
thing.
was the best part of the episode.
Yep.
We got the same magic, the same feeling. He has a purpose. He's going after billionaires, and he's doing it in a very unique way that only Chuck Rhodes knows how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way that in episode 1, Chuck takes down his neighbor, and now in episode 2, he's going toe to toe with a powerful New York billionaire. It's amazing, and he takes him down as well. But he keeps him on the hook, and now he's forming. I don't know whether it's an alliance or some type of power source that will help him later on. I don't know what his agenda is because he ran for governor or something before.
He ran for governor
He ran
already,
for
yeah.
governor, so that's not his aspiration anymore. But what exactly is he trying to do is sort of revealing itself. But I like the way that this is going, and I like what he did for the doorman.
Let's talk about that a little more. Let's break it down a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So we see in the episode, Chuck goes to he takes up a noble cause, which we all know he has an angle. He never does something just for the goodness of his heart. There's always a play upon a play upon a play.
Absolutely.
So this time he's pairing up with a doorman, I guess union. That you
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah, and you saw that it clicked right when he was at his wife's ex-wife's house.
Yeah, and then he sees the doorman helping out the billionaires. He's talking about people leaving from New York to warmer weathers, etc.
Uh-huh.
And he gets an idea. You know what? Let me use this so I can go after the billionaires. And we know his ultimate goal is to take down Mike Prince.
Yeah, he's going a roundabout way to pretty much lock him into a corner and take down Mike Prince. So he's playing chess right now, and not all the pathways have lined up for
Yeah.
us to see, but you can see that he's checking the boxes as he goes along, and we'll soon see what his big pathway is. But I definitely like that storyline.
Now, my man, the doorman, very charismatic, helping people out, good Samaritans, helping a billionaire not get caught with a mistress in the house.
Hey, it's hard out here for doormen.
It's out of here for a doorman. He's helping out Chuck. He shows up to the meeting, And when Chuck gets no applause, he's like, "Yeah, I know Chuck," and Chuck,
He
uses that.
vouches for him,
I'm pretty sure there was a deal, backhand deal,
probably.
probably from Chuck, helps him with his goal,
Yeah.
and then we see that this basically breaks down to having this billionaire Lazara
Uh huh.
play hardball with Chuck, and Chuck just planned it all out to have the billionaire have to bribe the leader of the union
In
so
order
he
to
can
get the
catch
strike
it,
ended.
so he can get some blackmail on the guy, and he's still gonna sell him out. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna give out the video, and then he tells Kate, his other attorney, like, hey, I'm not gonna sell him out, but I'm gonna point her where to
Yeah,
go.
I
So
mean, why not? Anyhow, I mean, that's just works for him because you're taking not. It's not that you're taking down a billionaire, but you're taking the halo effect away from him, where everything that they do is right. It sort of disillusions a lot of the public and makes them look like somewhat of a bad guy, so they don't get so much goodwill, which is what Chuck wants to do. He wants to take down the filth as he sees it in the city.
on Showtime, if you're watching more of this is what we want.
Yeah,
We want more of Chuck. Chuck has a magic. It makes the show feel what we sign up to watch. The things with Mike Prince. We talking about Mike Prince. We already said we don't necessarily like what's going on with this character, but at least I saw some spots where
yeah,
this could kind of turn around. We can
yeah,
turn the ship around. We see that Prince is so narcissistic, so egotistical that
yeah.
he's trying to essentially bring companies down to, I guess, bring the Olympics to New York
For his ex-wife.
just to get his ex-wife back. That's crazy. That's
That's
the
like,
ultimate
I mean, yeah,
SIMP, I guess.
exactly. That's like, you've done everything in life that you wanted to do, so this becomes a pet project. There's nothing better for him to do, which I just find that
What about flowers?
yeah, seriously,
I mean, you can get those very
dude.
fancy, like those forever flowers that they're like coated that they don't die, like $1,000 for a
Yeah,
bouquet. But
I just don't, I
the
just
Olympics for your wife, I mean, who's gonna top that?
and all the money that goes into it. Okay, so he's going to make money, but all the money he has to put up for it.
No, let's keep it real. I think he's taking some hints from Drake. He's, Drake be flying people out to a stadium.
Yeah,
This guy is bringing the Olympics to the
he's like,
city.
I could do you one better, and I'll make you the coach of everything. It's just far. I don't know. Is it far fetched? Let us know what your thoughts are on that storyline. Is it too out there, or is it believable? Do you think that he's going to accomplish it in this season, or will somebody come in and mess things up?
I'm gonna have a prediction. I think everything's gonna blow up on his face.
Yeah.
And for next season, this is really gonna turn him into a new axe who's gonna be ruthless. Because this guy can't be ruthless when he wants to be. And he's gonna bring that edge because Chuck is gonna destroy his marriage completely. He's gonna end up getting fully divorced. He's gonna lose half his money.
Yep.
That's done. He's gonna maybe lose companies. He's gonna lose friends. Maybe his daughters are not gonna like him as much. His daughters
I
were
would.
involved.
Yeah. Exactly.
And this anger or desire to get revenge on Chuck is gonna drive him, and we're
That
gonna
would
see that
be
come
a
through.
really entertaining storyline. I would like to see things blow up in his face and he becomes so frustrated that he goes into basically a fuck it mode and just wants to take down the world. And then maybe we'll see something that we're used to.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to see more from Wendy. Wendy so far is just being very, very calm.
Hmm.
Nothing to talk
There's,
about too much. Then we have Taylor. Taylor is
let's
falling
talk
in
about
line
that.
because she's
Yeah.
always wanted to do this goody, uh, this good causes,
Green and
right?
yeah, and all
Yeah.
these causes and giving back and being good for the community. So I can see her falling in line with Mike Prince. However, she knew that Mike Prince's plan. Let's talk about his plan that he came up with was shorten the stock of
Of a
the
clothing company
clothing
by
company.
saying
Yeah,
that they're not they hire
yeah.
I guess slave
Bad
labor in
labor.
a
Yeah,
way.
bad labor, and one in I think Korea and also
Not just
other
that, like it
places.
turns out that after Wax ruins the whole plan because Wax is friends with the CEO, which is pretty hilarious. That was a funny part of the
Yeah.
story. Wax did not want to ruin his friendship with this other CEO because they have a rock band together,
Uh huh.
and he lets him sing parts of a song by himself.
Yeah.
And towards the end, he had to finally ruin that friendship and find out that his son had a deal with the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong Un,
Yeah, to
and
manufacture.
this ended up being
That
the
really,
reason why the company goes down
yeah,
for.
yeah. The company was starting to turn around, and the stock prices were about to go back up. However, that latest news with the association with North Korea really tanked the stock of the company, and actually helped Mike Prince succeed in what he was trying to do. He wanted to get the stock down around $5, and apparently it was somewhere north of 15 before everything happened.
Yeah,
Um,
certainly. I mean, let me ask you, what do you between episode 1 of season 6 and episode 2? Which one was your favorite? Do you like? I know you didn't
yeah.
like either, but which one do you like?
Which one was the least
Which one
worst?
you hated the least?
Exactly.
My
Exactly.
preference is I didn't like that one.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out to
guess.
our podcast episode dropping this week.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be episode one because I like seeing Chuck take down the guy that was letting the
The guy with
cannons
the
go.
cannon, the annoying guy.
Yeah, he was a jerk. Like, why would that's annoying to everybody. Nobody wants to hear cannons. They might be watching TV, they might still be asleep or whatever. You hear cannons going off. It's crazy. So I think that was the best one. How about you?
I like this one better. I really enjoy this particular story arc with Chuck. Everything else I could have done without. Might
Yeah,
as well just do
I
the
mean,
whole show about
what
Chuck.
he wanted to tank the stock of Rask so that the he would be able to take over them building some type of facility or something like that,
Yeah,
and
so you
then
can bring the
so he
Olympics.
can bring the Olympics. I mean, that's far fetched, is that not? Like,
Well, let's
if
face it, we don't
there's a
live in
lot of
those
things that can
worlds.
go wrong.
We don't live in
and-
those worlds.
yeah, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in between, and then it's just like, oh, okay, well, I took them down, but I still can't get control of the village that I want to create because he has to create a dormitory village or whatever for the Olympics, and in order to convince the committee to bring him over in 2028, it's just so far fetched. In 2028,
Hey, we don't know that. We don't
yeah,
live in in those places because these people
I definitely
could be
don't.
some of those crazy things could be happening, like those crazy backroom deals where crazy stuff happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you agree or if you disagree that this is a stretch for that storyline,
Could
but the
this
fact,
happen in real life?
but the motivating factor for Mike Prince to do that is just, really. I just there's other things that can be done.
I mean, I guess because when you get to that point that you have all the success in the world, you're bored. I mean, what do you do next? Go to the moon? Look,
And
you know what?
and you know
Look,
what?
look at Bezos. This guy, you know why he's want to go to the moon? You look at Elon Musk.
Yeah, you would want to do that. Okay, being able to bring the Olympics to New York for the first time.
Going to
Okay,
space or bringing the Olympics to you. Which one's
I would go to
more
space.
far fetched? No, which one's more far fetched? Someone that would have said, you know what, I'm gonna just train and become an astronaut and go to the moon on my own rocket that I'm gonna create. I'm gonna make a whole company just to go
Which
to
one
space.
which one would be more worth it though?
We're not talking.
Bring it
That's
to-
not the question.
No,
Let's not move
okay.
the goalposts.
More far fetched is going to the moon because there's a lot of things that go into it.
Yep.
However, it has been done. Okay, bringing the Olympics
Or
to
has it?
yeah,
Let us know in the comments.
oh man, all the conspiracy theorists are going to be on there. But bringing the Olympics to
The truth's out. The truth is out.
don't tell him. Don't tell him. Bringing the Olympics to New York would be nice. It is less far fetched. However, which one is worth the squeeze? Going to the moon is worth the squeeze. Like you see all these people, Bezos is bringing all these celebrities. You had Strahan go up there and Will Shatner, and they come down and they start crying. Like that's something that's worth all the time and effort to do. The Olympics are great. The Olympics would be fun, but the Olympics is something that I think has been done. Not still, we still have a limited amount of people that actually reach space. So that's something that I would do.
No, man. That wasn't the question. That was points.
That was, yeah, I answered the question. No, I answered the question. I said that going to the moon is more far fetched. However, going to the moon would be more worth my time
Oh yeah,
as a billionaire.
going to the moon is definitely
Yeah.
cooler. I mean, why you go to the moon? You look down, you see this flat Earth, It's gonna be
And
great.
if you think very few people, hundreds, maybe thousands of people have only seen this.
It's only a
Or-
dome above us, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I do not believe the Earth is flat. So guys, do not hashtag me flat Earther. Nope, nope. I'm just
not
having
Kyrie
fun.
Irving,
I'm my flat Earthers. Don't be mad. Hey, listen, you do you.
not Bob. Yeah, the Earth is round. We believe. But yeah, no, I
What is
do
it?
as a billionaire, I would have better things to do. I just don't get that. I don't know. Hopefully they give us more. Give us more. We want more. That's what I'm looking for in these episodes. The whole Mike Prince thing, like I could skip those scenes and go to the other scenes dealing with Chuck and Wags and Wendy and everybody else. That's my thought officially. Unfortunately, right now.
No, certainly. I mean, so let's see what they're gonna do with the show going forward. Well, I think that's it for the episode. I don't think
What?
there's too much,
That's it. It's
nothing
over.
else, too much, noteworthy happened really, except for the Chuck storyline. Couple of bits and pieces here and there with the Mike Prince story. I want to see what's going. I want to say I'm
Where was
looking
his
forward.
ex-wife? Where was his ex-wife uh, in season 5? Like Prince. Why
She
wasn't he
was
going after her back then?
that wasn't a part of the story. They
Yeah,
just changed. They introduced the
I'm just saying.
daughters, and we knew that he was separate. They didn't mention that he was separate with his
Yeah,
wife. I guess bringing her to this kind of to bring another layer now that we don't have Axe. But there were some sprinkles of things that may be interesting. I would like to say that I'm excited can't wait for next week. But to be honest, I'm not as excited as I would normally
you
be.
know what?
I'm looking forward to Peacemaker next week because that show's gonna be fire. But
Yes, it
we'll
is.
see with
Hey,
Billions.
listen, I mean, we both are big fans of Billions, and I think that's the reason why me personally, I'm so hard on it right now because for 5 seasons they have brought the heat, and this season, thus far, we got to give them some time to adjust. And I know they had a major character change or whatever. However, it hasn't for me. It hasn't been on the level that they've given us for 5 consistent seasons. So that this is a cry or a plea to just you know do your
Step
thing,
up, bring the heat.
do your thing, do what you do best.
It's showtime.
Yeah, exactly. And with that said, with that said, whether a good episode or not, next week we'll be here talking about Billions. Until that time, I'm E, this is H, and we are.
Unstructured.
That's right.